Welcome to a new video for Click Beyond Sheets YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about the cell references. In our previous video, you will remember that a spreadsheet contains rows and columns, right? And in each intersection point between these rows and columns are called a cell. When we refer a cell, we address them by means of their position in the spreadsheet. For example, this cell has 28 as a numerical data, and this cell resides in column B and row number 3. We can also see it here. Or this one, this 8, resides in D7. Again, we can see it here. So this is the reference of a cell. Let's go to our sample data here. Remember, in our previous video, we had found out the calculation of each row and find out the total sales amount. For example, let's do an equal sign first, and then we want to multiply the units sold and the unit price together so that we will find the total sales amount for this row. So Google Sheets automatically recommended us, and I hit the tab key to accept its recommendation. So right now we have the function stored in E2, which gives us the total sales amount for 90 units of pencil sold at $1.99. So when we want to expand this formula down, we can simply click and drag. So as you can see from the formula bar here, when we go down, it was originally C2 times D2, and when I go one line down, it becomes C3 times D3. Let's go one line down, C4 and D4. So as you can see, the references in the first cell, when we drag it down, it is updating automatically relatively to the number of cells that we are moving. So let's try to copy it. Let's try to copy, not cut, and paste it here. Now what we see is 0. Let me change the number format to number. So what we see is 0 because when I double click and go inside the cell, as you can see, now it marks J2 and K2. Why? Because when we move from E column to L column, we move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So the references inside the function, I mean these C2 and D2, will also relatively move by 7 columns. So for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that one, the unit price, which is D2, it will also come to K2. So when we check it again, as you can see, it is J2 and K2. So the references in the original cell, which is E2, moved by 7 columns. Also, if we copy it again and paste in the same column but different row, so we will see that, again, let me change to number. So as you can see, now it became J7, K7. Why? Because it was originally again C2 times D2, but when it comes to 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the rows also moved by 5 rows, right? So the cell reference, again, we moved the column to L from E to L, and also the row number, we moved it from E2 to L7. So 5 rows also added to the original cell reference. So this is called relative reference. When we change the cell location or position, the reference inside the cell also moves with the relative number that we move inside the spreadsheet. So let me clear them out. Suppose that we want to find the commission rate for this sales amount for each row, and let's say, let me type it here, commission rate. So here 10%. So let me adjust the size of this column. Now let's do our formula equal sign to start our function or formula. So this number times this commission rate, and it is 18. Let me increase the decimal size. Sorry, yeah. This is the 10% of this number here. So likewise, when I drag this formula down here, as you can see, there is something wrong here because, as you can see, the numbers are going crazy. So let's check out what's wrong here. First one, it was E2. Let me go inside so that we can see the marks. So it is the E2 and G1. Okay, it's correct. But when we go one line down, we see that E3, which is correct, but it says G2. So with this sales amount, instead of taking the 10% commission, it multiplied by 17.91. When we go one line down again, so we see that the E column is correct and E4 cell is correct, but as the commission rate, now it takes this huge number. So when it goes down, it's getting huge and huge. So what we can do here, we have to fix or lock the position of this cell inside the formula so that for each row it will calculate the commission rate, which is 10%. In order to do that, we simply put a $sign before the column index and before the row number. So when we drag the formula down again, also here, now as you can see, this one was already correct. Now this is again correct because the cell reference for commission rate is fixed or locked. This one as also is fixed. So we have fixed the cell reference when we going down. How about going to right or left? Suppose that we would like to, let me adjust the size again. Suppose we would like to find for different commission rates over the same total sales amount. So let's say 15%, 20%, 25%, and 30%. So when I drag this cell to the right, you see this is something wrong again. Why? Because here we are multiplying this sales amount with this commission rate. Let's go and check the other cell. Now it's multiplying this empty cell with this one. In fact, we are looking for a function which will multiply this one with this commission rate. So let me first insert a row above and let me put it inside here. Also, let's merge them. So, and let's also delete this column. So now, what I want to do is, first, when I drag this to the right, I want this total sales amount to be locked. But when I go down, the row number should change, should update accordingly. So, in order to do that, let me write the formula again. We want to fix the column index so that I put the $sign here, but For round number, we do not put the dollar sign because when we go down, this E3 should go to E4, E5, E6, E7, and etc. And when I drag it right, I want this F2 cell to go G2 cell, so that it will take this commission rate here and this commission rate here. So what I can do is to remove this dollar sign from the column index so that the column will update, but the row number will always be same, so that when we go down, it will always look at the row number 2 here. So let me copy it like this. Let me check. No, it doesn't, because we didn't lock this E column here. So now let me do it again. Yes. Now let's check the second one, the 15% commission rate. As you can see, it is still taking the numerical data or sales amount from E column, which is correct, and multiplied by 15%, which is G2. This is also correct. Let's check this one. Again, it's getting the same correct value and multiplied by this 20%. This is also true. So now our formula is correct. Keep in mind that we cannot cross-expand the range. Instead, we will first go to right and then down. Or, let me clear this out. Also this one. Or, first we will go down, drag down, and then drag to right. That way, we only did one formula in one cell and then copy it to all range and find out the commission rates for this total sales amount for each row. So that should do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.